Hi guys, you can remember the last lesson we ended with arithmetic series, and I said that is all you need to know about arithmetic series. Now we're just going to do a few problems, the type that you're going to get in the exam. So if you've done this whole lesson and you understand all the problems and you can do them, you will be able to do exam questions on this. Just a little bit of revision. You remember the two formulae that we did? This one here, you will only use if it is the last term that you have got. It's not often that they give us the last term. So this is the one formula. This is the other formula. The right-hand side one is the one that we use most often. Just make very sure that you understand the terminology. The S stand for the sum of the terms. If I add up all the different terms. The A as normally is the term 1. It's your very first term. L is your last term. Very easy to see, L and L. N is the position, the third, fourth, second. The minute you can say something like that, you know it's a little n we're working with. And D is your constant difference. And remember, I prefer to say right-hand side minus left-hand side. Always do, doesn't matter which two you use. If they tell you it's an arithmetic sequence and you need to find the D, you always say right-hand side minus left-hand side. Good. Best way is to do a problem. Let's do a few. Thabo is training to run the Comrades Marathon. He runs 12 kilometers on the first day. So in my mind, I immediately know 12 is going to be my A because they say on the first day. It increases by 2 kilometers each day. The kilometers increases by 2 each day. On which day would he cover a distance of 32 kilometers? Let's just get some space. Now let's just see what they ask. On which day would he cover a distance of 32? Can you remember? He starts with 12. So I just wrote it here. Then every day he increases his distance by 2, increases his distance by 2. So this whole thing is the distance that they're talking about. The numbers you see there is the distance. So what are they giving me here? They're giving me a distance of 32 kilometers. So I must find out which of these terms will be 32. Now listen what I'm saying. Which of these terms? Did they ask me to add it up? Let's read again. On which day? They did not say in total what was all the kilometers. They said on which specific day did he run a distance of 32 kilometers. That's why I know I must use the TN formula. TN for arithmetic is A plus N minus 1 D. Or you could use the other one, DN plus C. You remember, I just prefer this one. Good. So I'm going to fill in what I have. But before I do, it's always good to write down my A, which is 12. They gave it to me. My D, which is 2. They told me it increases by 2 every day. The minute I can write down my A and my D, I can fill it into a formula. So let's start. What is that 32 that they gave me? It was the distance. And remember, the T stands for distance. So I can replace the T by 32. The A is 12. The N I do not know. And the D is 2. Because on which day is actually which term? The nth term, the 4th, the 10th, the 14th, and that's why I know they're asking me the N. So I'm going to first take the 12 over, so it gives me 20. This I'm not going to multiply out. I'm going to leave it n minus 1 times 2. Now, I know many of you are just going to multiply it out. Remember what your goal is. Always have your goal in mind. Your goal is to find the n all on its own. It's nicely all alone now, except for the minus 1. There's nothing in the front. If you multiply out now, there will be a 2 in your way, and then you have to divide again, so you just make your sum longer. So if I can rather just do this, divide by 2 on both sides, so it's 10. Get the 1 over, so it's 11. So now I can say on the 11th day, he ran 32 kilometers. And that is what they asked. On which day? So make very sure that you know if they're asking the N or the term itself, if they're asking the T formula or the S formula. Why did I use the T formula? They said specifically on which day. They did not say add up all these terms. So it's got nothing to do with the sum. So I'm taking off the answer. You remember, you have to now go and do it all on your own. Make sure that you can do it without looking at the answer, because luckily, if you've done it, you'll see that the answer is written out neatly. You can go and check it slowly on your own time and make sure that you are correct. After how many days would he have covered a total of 210? Remember, there's my sequence. I can immediately start by writing down A is 12 because I have it. Remember, the D was 2 because they gave it to me, 2 kilometers each day. Now let's read again. After how many days? So what are they asking? The amount of days. Do you agree with me? It's the N again that they are asking. After how many days? 10 days, 12 days, the nth day. Did he cover a total of 210? And that word total, that is why if you don't concentrate well and you just read it fast, you're going to pick the wrong formula and then you're going to get 0. Wrong formula gives you 0 for the whole question. So read it twice, make very sure that you pick the right formula. So it's the SN formula. Now, they didn't say anything about the last term. So I'm just going to have to use the long formula, N over 2 2a plus N minus 1d. And remember what I said previously, that part of the formula is actually your T formula. So it's very easy to remember. There's just a 2 in the front and an N over 2 in the right in the beginning, so you can't make a mistake. Good. I have the answer of 210 because they told me there a total of 210. I can fill it in. I do not have the N. I do have the A in brackets. I do not have the N. I do have the D2. Remember again what your goal is, to get N all alone. So I'm just for the first step going to leave this here and see if I can't multiply the 2 in. It gives me 24 plus 2N minus 2. If I multiply out, if I simplify it a bit, if I add the inside terms, it gives me 2N plus 22. If I now multiply in, I get N squared plus 11N because the 2's cancel. And as I see my square, I'm just going to bring the 210 over. Why do I do that? If ever you've got a square problem, a square in a problem, you need factors or your ugly formula. You remember that x is equal to formula, which is not really ugly. It's just very long. To other people who's not doing maths, it looks ugly. But now I've got my trinomial. Maybe it's going to give me nice factors. Let's just check. What times what is 210? And a nice thing to guess is maybe it 21 times 10. And because I want 11, 21 minus 10 does give me 11. So it's plus 21 because I need a plus. And it's minus 10. Why is the one a plus and one a minus? You remember I need a minus there. So a plus times a minus gives me the minus. Still 0 here. So n is equal to minus 21 or n is equal to 10. Why do I write that not applicable there? N stands for the how manyth term. You can't get a minus amount of terms. So that's not applicable. So what are they asking? After how many days? So after 10 days, so S10 is equal to 210. So you can just write down after 10 days, he would have run a total of 210 because then there are pluses in between my terms and I can just use my S formula. Just remember, don't ever write out all the terms until you get to, say, for instance, whatever they gave you. Don't try and write out the whole big long sequence. We are asking these problems because we are testing your formulae and your knowledge of how you can do all kinds of sequences. So if one is a bit short and you can write it all out, don't do that because we want to check your formulae and to check if you can do it thoroughly. Good, so you're going to do this all on your own. Remember afterwards, if you've done it all on your own, you can just go and check the answer. There is all the answers written out neatly, and you can just go and check it. Good. Let's look at problem 2. Themba starts farming with a certain amount of cattle at the beginning of the year. Now here it's important to read, they start at the beginning of the year. His cattle increased by 30 each year. So every year it increases by 30. Just think logically now. At the end of the first year, it will already have increased by 30. So the beginning of the next year will already have an increase of 30. At the end of 5 years, he had 2,420 cattle. In other words, at the end of the 5 years, he had in total 2,420 cattle. Good. How many cattle did Themba start with? So they want to know the beginning, which they didn't tell me. They just said that, and if we don't know the beginning, we just make it A, because A is my first term. Let's just quickly make very sure about this beginning of the year or end of the year. At the beginning of the first year, he had A cattle. The first term is A. At the end of that year, in other words, in the beginning of the next year, he had A plus D cattle. In the 5th year, he had A plus 4D cattle. Now look what is happening. There's a 5 there, there's a 4 there. There's a 6 there, there's a 5 there. In other words, the beginning of the next year is exactly the same as the end of the previous year. Good. So just have that in mind when we do the problem. So let's see. Let's read it. The start was A. The end of year 5 is as good as the beginning of year 6. So when they ask me what was the beginning amount, remember they gave me after 5 years. So it's actually, I need to work with the 6th year. So be very careful. This one is a little bit tricky, but remember, we're asking you questions here that's coming from past papers. So if you can do these questions, you are well away for the past papers. So this is a bit more complicated. It's just not just straightforward. I'm reading quickly, and I'm reading 5 years, and I'm going to do S5, because why do I do S5? Or do I do S5 or T? We'll read it properly again before we decide if it's the S or the T formula. So we'll just go back to the previous one and we'll read it properly. But before I write down my formula, you do all understand now why I'm going to use the 6th year. Because the end of the 5th year is as good as the 6th year, because I've got a whole year in which the cattle got more. Okay, let's read again. He starts at the beginning of the year. Now we're just going to call it A, because we don't know what it starts with. His cattle increased by 30 each year. So at the end of the year, he'll have 30 more. At the end of the next year, he'll have 30 more. At the end of the next year, so the year is your terms. You agree with me? The year is your terms. So if they ask me at the end of 5 years, in other words, the beginning of 6 years, he had 2,420 cattle. Let's go there. Do you all agree with me? I need to write down the T formula. A plus N minus 1D. Because remember, we started with an amount, A. It got 30 more in 1 year, 30 more in the other year. So if I'm onto my 5th year or 10th year, it will just be the amount where I've added so many 30s. So there's my formula. There is the D. I do not have the A. The A is my question. But what I do have is that at the end of year 5, which is the beginning of year 6, he had, so I can make that a 6. He had 2,420. So what is that 2,420? That's the amount, the term, the T. So I can replace it by 2,420. The A I do not have, so I leave it there. Plus the 6 minus 1 is 5. The D I have 30. Remember what I said previously, I never write 6 minus 1. In my head, I just say 6 minus 1 is 5. Then you haven't got so many brackets to work with. It just makes it easier. If that is 6, then this is always 1 less. You remember I showed you on the previous page as well. So now I've got an equation with only one variable. I can solve it. It's 150, 2,420. If I take the 150 over here, it's 7, 2, 2, if I'm not mistaken. So how many cattle did he start off with? We'll check just now if I add it correctly. 2,270. It does make sense because he added 30 each year. And now after 5 years, at the end of 5 years, in other words, the beginning of 6 years, he's got 2,400, which is more than the 2,270. So it seems to me that I'm right. And I'm going to just take it off so you can go do it all on your own. And then we're going to check the formal answer. There's the formal answer. So he started with 2,270 cattle. Good. The next question was, in year 1, but let's just quickly read it properly. It's better to go to the original question. The first year cost timber, okay, the cost is 3. So now it's not the sheep anymore. Now they talk about his cost while doing this whole sheep business. So the cost is 3,500 Rand to feed the cattle. Every year thereafter, he had to pay 250 Rand more. Now you can think for yourself. Beginning cost, that's why the A is 3,500. Every year it's 250 Rand more. So the D is 250, another 250, another 250. How much did he spend on food by the end of year 5th? So how much did he spend on his food by the end of year 5th? So let's just get to a page where I can do it easily. Now, let's just recall again. How much did he spend at the end of year 5? Do they ask you only how much he spent in year 5? Or do they ask you how much did he overall spend up to the end of year 5? you must read very carefully because that helps you to pick the right formula. Is it now the T formula or the S formula? I'm going to say it slowly again. Did they ask you in which year did he reach a certain amount? Or did they ask you in total, how much did he reach at the end of 5 years? 5 years, they said in total. So I know I'm going to use my S formula. My S formula, N over 2, 2A plus N minus 1D. So let's see what I have. Year 1, so that is my A, is 3,500. The N is 5, so I'm going to fill it in 5 over 2. 2A is 3,500. I do not know what the N is. I do know what the N is, sorry. N minus 5 is 4. The D is 250. Remember what they're asking here. They're asking the total amount that he spent by the end of 5 years. So there's my formula. Now after this is just normal algebra. After this you really can just calculate that and get the answer. We'll page there just now and see what the formal answer is. If I'm not, yeah, we'll go there just now. But I'm going to take it off so you can do it on your own, because the most important thing here is to pick which formula must I use. So make very sure that you understand they did not ask in the 5th year what did he spend. They asked at the end of 5 years, what in total did he spend? And that's why I used the SN formula. And once you pick your formula, the rest is straightforward. The rest is just a substitution thing. You fill in, you substitute. So there you spend 20,000. Just remember in the end to answer the question properly. You remember from long ago, the very last step in a method is to answer the question properly. So if they asked how much did he spend, you can't just leave 20,000. You must say he spent 20,000 rand. Good. Problem 3 is very much the same as problem 2. So I'm not going to do this one with you. I'm going to leave it to you, for you to do it at your own space and time. The answers are here written out neatly. I just want you to be very careful. There's 2 totally different ways to do this problem. They talk about months and then they talk about years. Now, you can't work with months and years in one problem. So when you do this problem, make sure that you decide, I'm going to do this whole problem in months. So I'm going to do it monthly. And if they talk about a year, I'm just going to multiply by 12 because then I have my year. Or you can do it in years. But then you must transform every amount that they give you times 12 so that it is per year. Both answers are here. You can go and do it on your own. Check carefully. There they've done it per month. And here we've done it per year. But you're going to go first on your own. So I don't even want to hover over there. I want you to go totally on your own. Try problem 3. And after you've tried it totally on your own, you only go and check your answers and see if you're right. Good. Let's do this one. The sum of the first 3 terms of an arithmetic sequence is 30. And their product is 840. Determine the 3 terms. So they are asking me term 1, term 2, and term 3. They are asking me to determine the 3 terms. Now, in order to determine 3 terms, I need the A and the D. They told me it's arithmetic, so I know there's an A and a D involved. If I don't have my A and my D, I can't find my first 3 terms. But let's just see what they gave me. This is a totally different question from the normal ones. That is one where, if you want to do a little bit better in maths, you will make sure that you can do this problem. It's not a normal question that is being asked. Good. The sum of the first 3 terms. Now, how does an arithmetic sequence look? The first term is A. The next term is A plus D. The next term is A plus 2D. You all know that, don't you? That is how we started off with terms. Now, they said the sum of these 3 terms is 30. Let's just see if we can write it neater. A plus A is 2A plus 1A is 3A. 1D plus 2D is 3Ds, is 30. I don't like all the 3, so I'm dividing by 3. We always make life easier in maths if we can. We're lazy to do with big, unnecessary stuff to work with them. If you can make it smaller, you do. There's my equation. I've got an equation. Why on this earth am I numbering it? Because there's 2 unknowns. Whenever there's 2 unknowns, you know by now, I cannot solve that one equation. I need another equation. But luckily, they gave us another equation. They said their product is 840. Let's just read again. The sum of the first 3 is 30, and their product. So let's just see, how do we write product? A plus D, A plus 2D is equal to 840. There I've got a second equation. Now, before I multiply out there, can you see if you multiply all of that out, you're going to get an a to the power of 3. We do not want that. Ever, never, if we can help it. Because a to the 3 makes it complicated to factorize and to get an answer. So let's just leave that one and see if we can't perhaps do the substitution method rather. So you can decide. There are 3 A's and there are only 2 D's. So I'm going to rather get the D all alone here. D is equal to 10 minus A. And the minute I have that, I'm going to go back to that one with all the brackets as it is, so don't multiply out if it's going to give you a complicated answer. You must make it as easy as possible for yourself. So I'm going to keep all the A's there. I'm going to leave the A. I'm going to say A plus D, which is now 10 minus A. I'm going to leave that A there, A plus 2D. You see I'm now there. D is 10 minus A. And all of that equals 840. The minute I've done that and I look over my whole equation, there's only A's involved, and I know, okay, that I'll be able to work with. So it's A, that A and that A cancels out, so there's only a 10 left. This is A plus 20 minus 2A, so it's going to give me 20 minus A is equal to 840. Now, I skipped a step where I multiply out the little bracket. I just did it in my head. 2 times 10 is 20. There's my 20. 2 times minus A is minus 2A plus that 1A is minus A, because now I need to multiply all of that stuff. So if I multiply 10A with 20, I get 200A. If I multiply 10A with A, I get minus 10A squared is equal to 840. Now, 840. Now, I do not like all these lots of noughts, so I'm just going to divide by, oh, this was just 10. Sorry, this was just 10, not a, what am I doing? This was just a 10, not a 2. I'm writing so ugly I can't even read my own handwriting. So it's 10A minus A squared is equal to 84. And now I see my squarey thing, and I know I can't solve a squarey thing if I don't have it equal to 0. So I'm going to take the A squared to the right-hand side and the 10A to the right-hand side. And I'm going to leave the 84 here, and I'm going to put the 0 on the left-hand side. It doesn't matter on which side you put the 0. As long as you have a 0. And why did I rather take the A squared over? Because it was minus A squared. You cannot factorize if you've got minus A squared. So therefore, you rather just do it like this. Now, I'm going to try factors. Now, I don't know if you know. You can grab your calculator and try. But 14 times 6 gives me 84. And because I want a minus in the... I wanted... No, not 14 times 6. Did I make a mistake somewhere? Let me just make it was a 20 there. I thought 20. You see how easily you make a mistake just by writing ugly? Now I'm just checking backwards. It was 200, which I divided by 10, 20. So this is 20. And now I've got 14 and 6. You see how easily you can pick up your mistakes? I had the 14 and the 6, which should work out, and then it's 10. 14 and 6 is not going to give me 10. So I just quickly glimpsed back, and I saw that ugly writing mistake I made. So make sure that when you do a problem and it seems complicated, just go back a step or two and see if you didn't make some silly mistake. And because I want minus 20, I'm going to make both minuses. There's my A times A is equal to 0. So A is equal to 14, or A is equal to 6. Now, if I do that, let me just see if I have another page. No, I don't. So I'll have to fit it in here. If A is 14, I go there and I say D is equal to 10 minus 14, which is minus 4. Or D is equal to 10 minus 6, which is plus 4. So I'm going to write it just here. D is minus 4 or D is plus 4. Remember, I'm going to do my loopy thing. The minute you've got your A and your D, you can do whatever they ask you. So now I'm going to only go back and just make sure, what did they ask me? Determine these 3 terms. So I'm going to have 2 answers. If I take this one, I'm going to start off with 14. And then because my D is minus 4, 14 minus 4 is 10. 10 minus 4 is 6, ... So that is that one. I'm just going to make an arrow here. If I use that one, I start with 6. A is 6. Then my D is 4. So I'm adding 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. 10 plus 4 is 14, ... Now, it looks like the same thing, but it is definitely not, because the first sequence is a declining one, and the next one, but it's declining and inclining. But can you see, it's because the order of it, and it goes on further to the right-hand side, you cannot say it's the same sequence, because the order of it differs. But those are the two sequences, and there's nothing more difficult. So this was a totally complicated problem that is not a normal question, but it's one of those that they put at the end of the exam to make sure that you can also do the difficult ones. So I'm taking off all this writing so that you can go and do it all on your own and concentrate on the method of it. Doesn't matter if there's complicated things like A and A plus D and A plus 2D, the method stays the same. After you've done it, you can go and check there. There are all the answers, and there are the two sequences. And as normally we do, give you exercises so that you can practice a lot of them. And by the end of this unit, you should be totally satisfied with your knowledge on arithmetic sequences. See you next time.